So today's video, William and I are going to be talking about tuning your Porsche 911. Of course, these days, with the 991.2, all of the cars are turbocharged, well, except for the GT3. And turbocharged cars have a lot of room for tuning. If you look at the torque curve of the current 911, you'll see that it's very flat. It's artificially flat. The computer keeps the turbo pressure down so that it never exceeds a certain amount of torque. And when the torque curve is so flat like that, you know there's a lot of opportunity for tuning. Just let that turbocharger run free and you're going to get a lot more torque and a lot more horsepower. And that's what an ECU tune does. It just frees up that turbocharger to allow more pressure, and you get a lot more torque and a lot more horsepower. And in the case of this car, there's an ECU tune that's freeing up about another 85 horsepower and more than 100 pounds-feet of torque, which is astonishing to feel. This car now feels like a $160,000, $170,000 Porsche Turbo, several models up. And that's no surprise, that's pretty much the power that it's putting out now, almost identical to the Turbo. So you can pay for a Carrera S or 4S like this car, spend $2,000 on a tune, basically get the performance of a $170,000 car. The upsides don't stop there either. It really doesn't affect the response time. In fact, I would say it's a little better. And fuel economy isn't affected. Often the fuel economy is better in a tuned car. It's incredible value for money. You can really get a lot of performance out of these new 3-litre turbocharged engines just with a simple tune. So what are the downsides? Well, arguably you're putting more pressure on the car and having the car perform more than it's designed to. So you run the risk of more problems with your car, but generally speaking, these are solid engines that are able to cope with a little bit more pressure and won't give too many problems. And the people that have done it so far have had no problem. Even talking to the service people in my own dealership, they've got no problem with me tuning my car. But generally speaking, I've tuned a lot of cars that I've owned and I've never had a problem. But it all comes down to moderation, of course. If you go crazy and do all sorts of modifications to your car, yes, you're definitely going to have problems. But just a stage 1 ECU tune is generally considered pretty safe and really unlocks a lot of potential in these cars. And interestingly, if you look on the gauge here, you can see the turbo gauge showing the pressure of the turbo. In my car, it tops out, I think, about 13 and 14. In this car, you'll see it hits 17 every time I put my foot down. There it goes, reflecting that extra turbo oomph. So naturally, we want to see how much difference this makes. And I don't want to drag race my car in this case because this is a PDK car and mine's a manual car, so that would make a difference. So I borrowed my friend Kevin's car today. His is a 4S with PDK, just like this car, which is a 4S with PDK, the only difference being that tune. So how much faster is a tuned Porsche 911 over a standard 911? We'll find out. I think the difference is significant. So for this drag race, my prediction, of course, is this car is going to walk the standard 4S. It just feels that much more powerful. What would be an interesting video would be this car against the turbo model. William got an opportunity to win a drag race. I'm on a roll, buddy. Let's do it. Okay, you all set? 3, 2, 1, go.
Bigger gap than I thought.
Yeah, it's a substantial increase in power, there's no question. We'll go from a little faster this time. All set? 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, what's interesting about this tune is not only it's more powerful throughout the rev range, it seems to be on the power a lot earlier as well. Like you really feel that bump in the low revs. You really feel that bump right from the beginning. Let's go from third gear here. So this time I'm going to go from third in manual, and I'm going to let him get the jump on me so that we get a better idea how fast this car catches up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. no problem. Just walking him, even if I give him the jump like that, just builds up power more quickly and all through the rev range. It is really a fantastic tune, this one. It really opens this car up. I think we'll do one last drag, this time in second gear in manual.
Hey.
Okay, this time we're going from second gear. 3, 2, 1, go. I let him have the jump. No problem, it's just walks the standard Carrera S engine. It's just that much more powerful. Would be very interested to see how this would perform against the turbo, the 520 horsepower turbo. I'd say it'd be pretty even. So the question is, would I do this to my car? It is very tempting. For so little money, so much more performance, there's really not a lot of downsides. The only reason I probably won't do it for my car is because I like to leave my car stock so that I can compare it to other cars and do drag races and so forth. And as I've said in previous videos, it's not like my car's short on power. It's not like I'm driving around in my car going, oh, I wish this had more power. But boy, this extra torque, it's pretty tempting.